Here we go. Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. I love talking birds with all of you, and I'm glad that the channel is doing so well, and all of you are really enjoying the content. Coming up here on the program, we have some good news for the Birds before they leave for Tampa tomorrow in the lead up to Sunday's Week 4 game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers also 3-0 like Philadelphia is to start off the 2025 campaign. I do want to begin here, though, and I have a question for you. Are you a real one? Are you a diehard Eagles fan? Do you love this football team? If the answer to all those questions is yes, then subscribe to the channel. We're 692 people away from 131,000 subscribers. The channel has never been hotter. So if you want Eagles coverage every single day year-round, that's informative, insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking, where you have a voice, where you can be a part of a movement, where people watch this program from all across America and all across the world, lock us in today and hop on board. Let's begin here with Lane Johnson. This is great news for the Eagles going into this Week 4 matchup, a matchup that is one of the best games across the NFL here in Week 4. He was a full participant at practice today after he left that game early against the Rams with that stinger in his neck. And things were moving in this direction for Lane to be able to play in this game. He even said after that game against the Rams on Sunday, it was a stinger. He expected to play, but throughout the week really didn't do much at practice, but today he did. And that Thursday practice session, the Friday practice session as well, always a really important one to gauge how a player is feeling prior to that Sunday game. And I want to get to this too. Do people realize just how valuable Lane Johnson is to the Eagles operation on the offensive side of the ball? We're talking about a generational player here, and we're never going to see another Lane Johnson. That's not a hyperbolic statement. The Eagles are 105, 55-1 with Lane all time when he plays. They are 15-23 without him. Since 2016, the winning percentage goes up to nearly 70%. Philadelphia, 91, 39-1 with him since then, 12-23 without him. And sometimes people don't understand his dominance because he plays offensive tackle. And it's not a sexy position like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or edge rusher. And I think this is pretty telling, right? Nick Sirianni's been around a lot of football players. He's seen a lot in his football life. He called Lane Johnson, quote, the best player I've ever been around. Cam Jurgens, who plays center on this Eagles offensive line, said that Lane is the best offensive lineman that's effing come through the Eagles in the history of this organization. Now, obviously, why is this important for Sunday's game? Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are 1-4 all-time against the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles, as a defensive mind and defensive play caller, has always come up with really good game plans to stifle this Jalen Hurts-led offense. He blitzes a lot. In fact, the Bucs going into Week 3 blitz at the second highest rate in the NFL. If you don't have Lane Johnson there at right tackle, it makes your task more difficult in trying to win a ball game. Lane did not play against the Buccaneers last year in Week 4. The Eagles offense couldn't do anything, and when he went out early against the Rams and Matt Pryor replaced him, the Eagles had 3 drives where they picked up minus 9 yards, and throughout the entire half, they were outgained by a wide margin by the Rams. The Rams had over 200 yards of offense. The Eagles had under 30 yards of offense. Then in the second half, Fred Johnson did step in for Matt Pryor, played a lot better, but Fred Johnson is not Lane Johnson. No relation. People with eyes obviously know that. Here's what Zack Baun said about Lane Johnson. He did a fantastic story in The Athletic, and Baun also released his newest Philadelphia Eagles book documenting their Super Bowl championship run last year. But in that article about Lane was this tidbit. This is crazy, right? Since 2016, the Eagles have had a sack rate of 8% and the average time for the quarterback to throw 2.87 seconds when Johnson is not on the field. When Lane does play, the Eagles allow a sack on 6.5% of pass attempts and an average time to throw of 2.92 seconds. Think about how quickly the game of football is played. That's significant. And what's also crazy about Lane is how he's evolved his body over time. Now, obviously, there was the PED suspension, not a great look on him. That was a long time ago. But he's in better shape now than he was as a rookie in 2013. Not often do you see an offensive tackle who's 6'6", 325 pounds looking like this. 6 to 8 pack abs. Like I said, Lane 1 of 1. Appreciate him now. Appreciate him as long as he's an Eagle and playing, because we're never going to see another player like this. Obviously, big news for the Eagles' chances on Sunday. This Buccaneers defense, it's a feisty one to go up against because of how aggressive Todd Bowles is as a defensive play caller. More good news for the Birds. There are 2 inside starting linebackers back at practice today. Jihaad Campbell, triceps, wearing a brace. Zack Baun, knee. Now, yesterday, Baun, we talked about this on the show, was wearing a very bulky knee brace. Today, only a sleeve. I think that's a good sign. Baun would not say today if he's going to play or not on Sunday against the Buccaneers, but I would imagine him going from a non-participant to a limited participant, a good sign for him to be on the field at Raymond James Stadium. And then the same can be said for Jihaad Campbell. He too, yesterday on Wednesday, a non-participant. Today, a limited participant. He said he's a little bit nicked up, taking it day by day. For real, though, let me ask you this question, too. I got a lot of questions for the audience today, and I'm making you think. That's what I want to do here on this show. Is the Jihaad Campbell-Zack Baun off-ball inside linebacker duo already one of the best linebacker duos in the NFL? I had said after the draft, they have the potential to be over time, and they both play this modern-day style of off-ball linebacker where they can be used in a hybrid role. Obviously, being able to hold up in coverage as stellar coverage linebackers, being able to be utilized as prototypical edge rushers, and being utilized as blitzers. But for it to happen this quickly, great sign for what this Eagles defense can evolve into in 2025 and obviously beyond, because Baun signed that contract extension this past offseason. So far, Campbell, can you believe he was the 31st overall pick? This type of player fell to the Eagles again. It's Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean all over again. Week-by-week rankings among defensive rookies this year. Week 1, 4th highest graded rookie defender. Week 2, 4th. Week 3, 1st. And so far, cumulatively, he is the highest graded rookie defender in the NFL this year. And Zack Baun has been stellar since he signed with the Eagles going into 2024. It's still incredible to me, the player development that we've seen. He went from really just playing edge rusher to never playing off-ball linebacker prior to last year. And now he's alongside Fred Warner, and they're the 2 best off-ball linebackers. And Baun's been great to start 2025, but against the Rams as well, he was a menace against Los Angeles. And he was one of the reasons why this Eagles defense was able to keep this offense in it, kept bailing out that offensive unit, because Zack Baun was making plays all over the yard. And obviously, he had that interception of Matthew Stafford on the opening drive of the game, which led to an Eagles score on the Jalen Hurts tush push. This is also pretty nutty. Baun is the only player since 2024 across the entire NFL to have 150-plus combined tackles and 12-plus TFLs and 2 or more interceptions. Special cat. And then back to Jihaad Campbell. Here's how he's graded out according to PFF already. Overall grade among all linebackers, 11th out of 123 players at that position for an 84.6 grade. His coverage grade, incredible. 90.1, that ranks 5th, and he's been good against the run too. 72 is the grade there. That ranks 34th. What stood out to me too, he hasn't missed a tackle yet, and he's had a lot of opportunities. He's been very consistent in that area. And then you flip the page to his running mate, Zack Baun. He has an overall grade of 88.8. That ranks 6th at the position. A coverage grade of 80.7. That's 10th. Run defense grade 71.3. That's 38th. and his pass rushing grade, number 1. That's the unique skill set that I mentioned a little while ago, 92. And when you have players like Baun and Campbell on the field manning the middle of it with the range that they have sideline to sideline, the coverage ability, the blitzing ability, the pass rushing ability, basically the ability to do it all, really difficult as an offense to go up against two players like that who control the middle area of the field. Man, I can't wait for this game on Sunday. I'll tell you that. The juices are flowing already. It's beat the Bucs week. And if you think the Birds will beat the Bucs on Sunday and finally take down Tampa Bay in Tampa, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If not, I want you to comment why. Let me know that you know ball. Coming up next, we have some big Buccaneers injury news and something you must know about this matchup heading into Sunday's affair. Before we get into that, we all love the tush push here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. You will love Tushy if you give it a try. Save big on Tushy today using the code chat at hellotushy.com/chat, and you better get started. I'm going to put that link down below in the comment section in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's Philadelphia Eagles Now. What is Tushy? The everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. When you're spending a Sunday and a Saturday, if you like college football, just watching football, eating some crappy foods, taking down some beers, it's not always going to be pleasant coming out of your backside, right? But with Tushy, you don't have to worry about that. And this comes down to cleanliness. This comes down to you feeling good. And it comes down to hygiene. 99% of people who wash with Tushy Wave feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. It instantly modernizes your daily routine and bathroom with a super sleek seat plus 2 separate front and rear nozzles for the most complete clean. It also features a soft close lid and seat that's slam proof for a gentle, luxurious finish. There's nothing worse than going to the bathroom in the middle of the night and the toilet seat comes crashing down and you're like, whoa, I didn't need to be shook up in the middle of the night. Every Tushy bidet also easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. This is daily decadence with practical benefits. Over half the people who wash with Tushy soothe their hemorrhoids, and 9 out of 10 people reduce itching and discomfort. Instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient. That natural ingredient? Fresh water. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and 12-month warranty. And people who have made the switch use up to 80% less TP if you want to go about your life in that manner. No more clogged toilets, no more wasting money on something that does an inferior job of cleaning your body. So remember, we as Philadelphia fans, sometimes we're called a-holes, right? Well, a-hole is only a dirty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code chat at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com/chat. Use that promo code chat. Save big on Tushy today. You will not regret it. You'll feel good. Most importantly, you'll smell good. Chris Godwin, really good wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He last year suffered a really brutal ankle injury in prime time, and it was one of those gruesome injuries where you saw the replay and you're like, oh, he's going to be out for a while. Well, he was limited to only 7 games last year and has not played yet to start this year. The Penn State product going to be making his return on the same weekend where Penn State will host Oregon, and we'll see if James Franklin can finally win a big game. Before his injury last year, Godwin was putting together a really good season. He was the only player at that time in the NFL with 50 catches, 576 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Him and Mike Evans form a great wide receiver duo. Mike Evans is not going to play in this game. Chris Godwin most likely will. Full participant at practice on Wednesday. Did not practice on Thursday. That was by design. And the Eagles are shorthanded at the cornerback spot. Adoree Jackson in practice on Thursday, limited with the groin. We'll see if he can play. Jacorian Bennett injured his pec. That's the injury for him. We just found that out today as well. He got hurt week 1 against the Cowboys, tried to fight through it, couldn't, re-injured it against the Rams, and so he hits the shelf. If Adoree Jackson can't play, you're going to see a lot of Keely Ringo, Mac McWilliams, maybe Perry Nickerson, possibly Eli Ricks if he gets elevated to the active game day roster, because Ricks is on the practice squad right now. As we know, the struggles of Adoree Jackson, we've seen them so far this year. More good injury news from the Buccaneers sideline. Tristan Wirfs, one of the top offensive tackles in the game, he's certainly paid as such. He had this knee procedure late in the summer, and he too today listed as a full participant. He is expected to play. Now, this is big for Tampa Bay because to start the year, they were without 3 of their projected starters along the offensive line. Now that Wirfs comes back, they're still without 2, but it's better than 3. As we know, Eagles going to be without Nolan Smith. We'll see who can win the battle in the trenches. We have one more topic to get to here, but here on Eagles Now, I'm giving you content every single day. The last month, we've reached 3 million people just on YouTube. On my Instagram page, I've reached 9 million people the last month over there. You can give me a follow at Chase_Senior, approaching 40,000 followers on X. Things are popping there too. And I'm putting all types of Eagles content on my social media pages. It's at Chase_Senior on X and Instagram. Let's get to 20K here, 40K here, and of course, you can continue to interact with me. As I always like to say, because this can be applied to all facets of life, right? Whether it's sports, business, relationships, friendships, whatever, context is always important. And we know that the Eagles, especially under Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, have really struggled in playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they've struggled offensively going up against Todd Bowles. Hurts and Sirianni, 1-4 against the Bucs all time. But in all 4 of those losses, there has been a common occurrence and a common denominator. A.J. Brown did not play in any of those 4 losses. One of them, or 2 of them actually, came in 2021. Regular season, wild card round, both against Tom Brady. The only time that A.J. has played against the Bucs, alongside Jalen Hurts and with Nick Sirianni being the head coach, the early game in 2023 when the Eagles actually won. And when A.J. did play in that 25-11 win, that was before the Eagles' collapse had happened at the end of the year, he carved up Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay is susceptible in that secondary. A.J. in that game popped off for 9 catches for 131 yards. Now, as we know, week 4 last year, it was ugly. Philadelphia did lose 33-16. They had a black eye going into the bye week. A lot of people wanted Nick Sirianni fired. I wasn't one of them, but it was an ugly defeat. No doubt about it. That dropped the Eagles to 2-2. But in that game, do we realize and remember that the Eagles were without Lane Johnson, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith? And for Jalen Hurts, obviously, he's not a quarterback, and there are very rare quarterbacks who are going to be able to carry slop to a Super Bowl. But the Eagles' top wide receivers in that game, I mean, Paris Campbell, John Ross, aren't even on NFL rosters right now. Johnny Wilson had a really good preseason, but obviously he's out for the year. Jahan Dotson was the number 1 wideout for Hurts that day. He's not a number 1. He's the Eagles' number 3. And so this didn't make matters easier on the offensive side of the football either. Eagles going to be healthier on the offensive side of the ball. They will have Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown in this game, and hopefully that will do a lot in determining the outcome, which hopefully results in an Eagles win to just get rid of these Buccaneers demons. Another reminder, hit that subscribe button here on the show. If you like what I did today, this is what we do every single day.